Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. Welcome back to the channel, Hijrah Tips and Advice. My name is Abu Idris, and we will be going over a very misunderstood topic that a lot of people really need to get straightened out, because if not, you're going to have some serious problems should you ever need this particular thing. And this is going to be basically titled, "The U.S. Embassy is not your friend." The U.S. Embassy is not your friend, or any embassy, okay? And I will tell you from what way. There are a lot of people who think that if you have, well, let's put it like this. Sometimes you have problems in the host country that you make hijrah to. So, for example, there are cases where you may not have gotten paid from your employer. You may have been terminated unjustly. You may have even been arrested. Allah forbid. Okay, so people are of the impression that all you have to do is just call the embassy. Okay, we'll add to that. Maybe you have a complaint about your employer, your sponsor, whomever it is that you are under, and you're having you guys are not getting along, and so some people, I hear them, they'll threaten to go to the embassy. I'm going to go to my embassy and I'm going to report you and this and this. And sadly, or amazingly, some people from the locals actually get scared of that. I don't know why. Let me tell you what the embassy is. The embassy is the same as you and I are in a host country. That is, they are guests in that country. The U.S. Embassy is a building, a compound, an area of land. By itself, it enjoys sovereignty. In other words, when you are on embassy camp, when you're on an embassy compound, when you're on embassy grounds or property for any embassy in the world, you are actually in an extension of that country. So if you break the law on embassy property, you can be arrested and charged according to the laws of the country of that embassy. So if you go to the embassy, the Spanish embassy for Spain, and you violate one of the laws while on embassy property, they can arrest you for violating the laws in Spain. If you are on the American embassy and you commit a crime or something, and they can arrest you and then charge you with the laws of that country of America for committing that crime. However, they are guests in the country like you and I, which means that the embassy itself has to abide by the rules of their host country. They have to abide by the rules of the country that they're in. So if the people who work at the embassy, some people live in the embassy, some people, there are places where they have embassy housing. There are families, that live there on the embassy, and their spouses and children and whatever work at the embassy. Okay, but if you have to go out in town and you break a law, you're expected to follow the laws of the host country that you're in. And you don't enjoy any kind of diplomatic immunity or any immunity just because you work at the embassy. Someone may give you a free pass and say, okay, fine, you screwed up. Try not to do that again. You have to respect the laws of the country, blah, 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 let you off with a warning. And that's solely on their prerogative, 100% on their prerogative. Other than that, they can arrest you, charge you, fine you, and even imprison you. Your embassy cannot come to the rescue with a cavalry of horses and soldiers to whisk the American away. My embassy is going to come and protect me. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. The embassy does not mediate disputes between your employer and you. The embassy does not get involved in problems that you might have with your sponsor. The embassy does not get involved with bad business deals that you have with the local people. The embassy does not have a program where they bail you out of jail. The embassy does not have a program where they will send somebody as a representative to get you out of the police station because you have been creating a nuisance out in town and you have gotten yourself, jammed up with the local authorities. The embassy does not get involved with marital situations, marriage and divorce of of a local person. Maybe you've had some child custody cases, or you have a divorce situation. They don't get involved like that. That is the local country. That's what their laws are for. The embassy cannot go to another country and enforce their rule of law in another country. That would be like, for example, if you had a favorite chair, and you brought that chair over to your friend's house, and no one is allowed to sit in that chair except for you. It is clearly your chair. People know that's your chair. No one sits in that chair except for you. Okay. And if anyone sits in that chair and you come, there's going to be a problem, because that chair is your chair and everybody knows it is. However, the house belongs to the person that the chair sits in. So you cannot do anything you want inside the person's house just because your chair is there. Likewise for the embassy. Okay. The embassy does not get involved in landlord-tenant disputes. So if your landlord, rather, building owner, wants to evict you unjustly or wrongfully, the embassy does not get involved in that. The U.S. embassy does not get involved in that. The British embassy does not get involved in that. The embassies are guests in the host country that they sit in. The embassy does not get involved in helping you negotiate contracts, okay, for employment. The embassy does not recommend employment for you. The embassy doesn't have a list of people or places or companies that you should apply to or that you should not apply to. The embassy does not do that, okay? What the embassy can do is they can recommend someone for you if you get in trouble, i.e. a lawyer. So they can say, hey, this is the person that you need to get in contact with. Here's his name and contact information. Contact him or her. They can do that. The embassy, if you are a well-traveled individual and you've run out of places where they can put a stamp inside of your passport, the embassy can put extra pages inside of your passport, extra blank pages. Okay, I've had this done. And the last time I had it done was probably 2010, and I don't think it's free anymore. It used to be free. I think it might be like $5 or something like that. Okay, they can do that. The embassy can, what's it they call? They can notarize documents for you. Okay, so you might have some situations back in your country that you have to have a notarized document with a signature and a notary republic. They can do that for you. Last I checked at the embassy, when I did it, the last time I did it was several years ago, but it was $80. $80, man, for a stamp and a signature. Okay. Of course, the embassy can issue visas and things of this nature. The embassy does not perform marriage ceremonies. Okay. The embassy can, in an emergency situation, if you don't have funds and you need to leave, the embassy can purchase a voucher for you so that you can ride home, because they're going to make sure that their citizens get home back to their home country. But be careful of this, because there is a cost to this, and it's a big cost. The ticket that they will give you, let's say, for example, they may issue a ticket because you have no money and you have to leave right away. They may issue a ticket because you have a passport situation that if you have problems with the State Department and you owe money and there's a block on your passport, you're supposed to leave immediately. Okay. If you don't have your own money, you can apply for a voucher, and then they will purchase the voucher for you to get you home. Okay. Here's the cost to that. You have 60 days to repay the money that they paid for the voucher. Okay. You have 60 days to pay it. Otherwise, it starts accruing interest daily. And I think let me backtrack on that. I think they give you a 30 to 60-day waiting period. Okay. So basically they give you 60 days with no interest. So you have 60 days to repay it before the bill becomes due, and they start charging interest on the unpaid balance every single day. I don't know what the rate of interest is, but this is what I was told. I've never had to do this with that, but I know some people who have. And so now what the problem with that is that if you default on that voucher payment that got you back to your country, then you will have a block on your passport and you can't get another passport until that's paid off. Okay, so it's kind of similar to like owing the IRS money. Okay, if you owe the IRS major money, they compound the interest, and if it's a certain amount, they can block the passport and prevent you from traveling. And it can also prevent you from getting another passport because all those passports are connected. There's a history of all of your passport numbers. Okay. And so when they see that number, you had that passport under this number, and then there's going to be a little tag next to it that says, hey, don't give this guy anything. He didn't pay back the money. Okay. So these are the things that the embassy can be responsible for. The embassy does not get involved in any kind of local situation that you have with the people in the guest country. This is very important for you to understand. So you can't, I'm going to go to my embassy and they're going to do this. The embassy doesn't do that. That's not what they're there for. Okay. This is something that you really got to understand. I can't stress that enough. I know a brother from my hometown who spent about 10 years in a Kuwaiti jail because he didn't pay back his debts. He owed money. He had borrowed money from several banks. And when it came time to pay off the debt, he defaulted. And so there was nothing that they could do. The embassy can't do anything. They got him a lawyer, and then the lawyer, all the lawyer can do, he has no pull. He's a lawyer that has been, and you're going to have to pay for that lawyer. Nothing is free. Your American embassy does not give you anything for free. I don't know about other embassies, but the American embassy will give you nothing for free. There is always a cost somewhere. So beware and stop throwing the embassy in people's faces like you're threatening them. People are not scared of you because you're an American. I don't know how that impression got out there that people could say, well, I'm going to go to my embassy and they're going to do this and this. Oh, please don't do that. Oh, no. They're American. We're scared of America. They are not afraid of you. They may be afraid of bad press or bad publicity, but rest assured, if you're making that claim, someone else has already made that claim. Several other people have made that claim before you have. And nothing came of it because the embassy, again, cannot do anything for you in regards to matters that you're dealing with the local community there. So please understand that before you start down that path. The best thing to do is just abide by the rules of your host country, do what they say to do, comply, and everything should be okay. If you do get yourself in a bad situation, try your best to be nice, be respectful, and a lot of times, especially in the Middle East, if it's not a real serious crime, you can get out of a lot of stuff. If you just know how to talk and smile when you're talking, be apologetic. Really didn't know, I apologize. This and this and this, have a conversation. Don't be combative. Don't be resistant. Don't be, aggressive. Don't be, any of those negative attributes, just kind of, I hate to say it like this, sometimes you might have to play the dumb foreigner card, and they will, a lot of times they'll just kind of let you off with a warning, they know you don't know, and they don't really want to make trouble for their American foreign residents because, all this stuff is connected to money in some kind of case. And so nobody wants to be known as the country that gives a certain nationality a hard time. So if they're letting you slide or they let you go or whatever, it's not because they're afraid of you. It's just good business practice. It's good business practice. Just kind of say, hey, give you a stern talking to, and then wave you on your way, and that's it. So that's it, you guys. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to the video if you got benefit from this. Please make sure that you also hit the notification bell at the bottom so that you can be made aware of when we post new videos. Also, if you have some stories of yours to relate concerning experiences that you had in town, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. You're free to put anything you want, and also, any additional information, inshallah. That's it. Jazaakallaahu Khair. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.